Folks, welcome to episode 9 of Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans for the fans. With me tonight, I have two special guests, both returning to the show. First, from New York City, my main man, Nelson Bala. Nelson, say what's up to the people.
What's up, man? How you doing?
And we also have returning to the panel, Phil Timms, a.k.a. Ice. Ice, say what's up.
What's going on, everybody?
All right, folks, we're not going to waste any time. Let's jump right into it. Raw from last night from Chicago, Illinois. Thought it was an awesome show, personally. The first segment we have is Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the current storyline right now with Shane and Vince and the whole build-up, and what did you guys think of it? Balla, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm actually really excited to see Shane back in the company. He's always been one of my favorite wrestlers in general because the Shane McMahon match, like, you don't get them too often, but when you do get them, they're fantastic. You know what I mean?
Very spot fest, yeah.
Yeah, spot fest, but it's wonderful, man. They always, like, every match is going to have you marking out because he always does something different. You never know what you can get from Shane. And, I'm feeling it now, feeling this feud.
Ice, what are you thinking of the match right now so far?
I mean, Shane coming back is probably a huge thing. I would have rather seen Shane versus Vince at WrestleMania for control of Monday Night Raw instead of this whole like Undertaker Hell in a Cell thing because I think it's going to go one of two ways. Undertaker's going to demolish Shane, and it's just will be all pointless because there's really no purpose in me seeing Taker at WrestleMania anymore. The streak's over. Or Shane's going to find some way to overcome the odds. He'll probably have some outside interference. A lot of speculation is that Finn Balor will appear as the Demon and help put Undertaker down. But I don't know. I like it. It's something new. It's got people interested, but I don't know exactly how it's gonna really go.
Yeah, I agree with you, but instead of seeing Vince in a ring, I mean, I don't really know how well he gets around anymore, ring-wise, but maybe if it was Hunter.
I mean, at the same token, it's the same match from WrestleMania 17. You know there would be jokes about that, like which WrestleMania is. I can see the memes now of like people trying to be funny.
Well, I mean,
Hunter
this
would
is
have
the
been a
same
pretty good
company
option.
that when Undertaker fought Triple H at WrestleMania 27, they pretended that 17 never even happened. So, I mean,
Hey man, this is the same company. I wanted to say one thing about that segment. Vince McMahon is the greatest heel in wrestling probably ever for coming out to that Undertaker gong and then you heard the no chance and he came out with the swag. Love it, Vince. Greatest heel probably ever. But the next segment we get into, great match. Kevin Owens defeats Neville. Balla, we're gonna kick it to you again. What did you think of that match?
I thought it was a pretty solid match, but you know, obviously Sane coming out, saving Neville from I guess he was gonna hit him with a power bomb on the outside. But Zayn, I'm so happy that Zayn came back. That way we can get a Owen Zayn Mania match, hopefully, because I'm pretty sure that's what they're building up to. They want to bring Zayn back to not have them fight at Mania. So I'm pretty hyped.
Ice, same question, man. What did you think of that match?
I mean, it's always great when you see two guys who came from the Indies showcasing that just because we weren't always in WWE that we can go just as good, if not better, than any of the other guys that have been homegrown guys, as people like to say. But like Balla was saying, dude, the build up to get Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. I remember watching these guys when they were Kevin Steen and El Generico destroying each other back in Ring of Honor, and now they're going to be they're going to go to WrestleMania and have this tremendous match, hopefully for the Intercontinental title. Maybe it'll rival I'm hoping it rivals like a Macho Man Steamboat kind of thing.
I could definitely see that happening with that match. Yeah, awesome to see Sami Zayn back on the main roster. Hopefully it's permanent this time. We'll see where it leads to.
So
Next match, we get Summer Rae defeating Brie Bella. A little bit of Lana action here. Bala, what did you think of that?
I think at this point, since we all know Brie Bella's on her way out, her job might as well be just to put people over. And I feel she kind of made Lana look a little strong there. Where Lana came out and hits her with a Bella Buster. And I'm guessing we might see a Mania match with Brie and Lana.
I can see
I'm
like
still trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what Lana's gimmick is. Like, is she still trying to play that like Russian gimmick, or is she trying to be like Dolph's girl? I don't know. She's wearing the jean looking shit.
it beats
I
me. It
don't
looks
know.
like it's
I'm
someone's.
not sure what her gimmick is. I like her, but I don't know what her gimmick is.
It
You know?
sounds like it's more of a like a sick fantasy for someone in creative just to let's mess this all up because I don't get what they're doing with her character as well. Ice, what do you think, man?
Well, you guys lost me when I heard Brie Bella and Summer Rae. I was like, oh, the unimportant divas on Monday Night Raw. And then Lana
Basically.
shows up, who sometimes she's Russian, sometimes she's not. I don't understand how that works. Last time I saw something that bad with accents happen was Kofi Kingston back when he was on Team DX. So I don't understand like what the whole direction is. Me personally, I would have after the whole Rusev Ziggler thing, I would have taken Lana off TV, had her disappear, changed her look up, and then brought her back in for purposes if she's going to be the next big diva in WWE or whatever they're pushing for. I would have changed her hair color. She would have came out looking with a totally different look. Everything. I mean, she did kind of look strong against Brie Bella, but that's really not too hard. I mean, Brie Bella's never been like a great, women's wrestler. She's just there, and it's like, well, we don't have anybody else, so here's Brie Bella. She's kind of like the Tory of the PG era, and I mean Tombstone Tory, Kane's girlfriend, that kind of thing. So I don't know, dude. These divas are lackluster. I'm more entertained when I see Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Paige. So we'll see
Yeah, the
what
new
happens.
divas, basically.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Basically, we get into the next match. It's a segment more. So it sets up the Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt main event with Triple H. Nothing too spectacular there. And then we get into the League of Nations. Sheamus, Rusev, and Wade Barrett defeating Dolph Ziggler in a 3-on-1 handicap match because of a tweet he sent out earlier against the Authority. Bala, you can go ahead and talk about this first. I have no words.
I personally thought it was ridiculous. Um, you would think, I understand where they're going. He disrespected the Authority, and, he needs to be punished. But they could be doing a lot more with Ziggler and the League of Nations. Oh, it's just, they're beating up a guy like half their size. Ziggler gets nothing from it. I don't think the League of Nations get anything from it. It's just a space filler, man.
Absolutely. Ice, same thoughts.
Why on earth does the World Wrestling Entertainment Company constantly belittle and berate and misuse Dolph Ziggler is beyond me. Now, he came. Don't get me wrong. Ziggler came a long way from being Nikki in the Spirit Squad. But this guy goes out there, and if he ain't the closest reincarnation to Mr. Perfect I've seen in a long time, because it damn sure ain't his son Curtis Axel out there with the social outcasts. Dolph Ziggler is probably one of the best workers they have today, and they do nothing with him. Unfortunately, he has charisma, he has all this stuff, but Ziggler is the man who works with the man. He ain't the man. And that's unfortunately a role that's been chiseled and hammered in by WWE with Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler, even when you look at his world title reigns, he didn't even hold the belt. Like in one world title reign, they announced him champion and then made him lose the belt immediately to Edge. And it was like, wow. And then when he finally became champion, they let Alberto Del Rio kick him into a concussion and take the belt off of him anyway. And it's like, dude. And let's not even start with the League of Nations. Let me see. Bad News Barrett. Everything he's ever done has failed. Alberto Del Rio. Trash, not entertaining whatsoever. No one wants to see you come out there, call people a dog in Spanish, and you stole Daniel Bryan's yes chant, and since you say it in Spanish, all of a sudden it's supposed to mean something. Sheamus is probably the biggest waste of space and talent I've ever seen because you got this guy, he's a big, strong dude, and all this prototypical what Vince loves to see out there in the ring anyway. But he has no dimension to him. It's just like, I'm going to come out here, I'm going to say some stuff in Irish, I look stupid, and I'm going to kick you in the face. Like, yay, a Sheamus match. And it's like, I just expect more. Rusev is pretty much the Bulgarian Sheamus, so it's really no point even seeing him either. So it's like this whole League of Nations is a waste of space, and Ziggler definitely needs to be better utilized.
I would agree with that. There's no real standout in the League of Nations, and they need to get better. I feel like all of these guys are just in a rut. So, moving on. We get into Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch defeating Naomi and Tamina. We now know at WrestleMania it will be a triple threat match, like I hope for. Good move, WWE. Between Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. But overall thoughts on the two ladies, even Naomi and Tamina.
Well, you know my thoughts on Naomi and Tamina. I think Tamina's a tremendous athlete. I think she's very underutilized, but her role as like the bodyguard slash tag team partner for Naomi kind of works because they look like those two girls in school that they're kind of cute, but their attitudes are the absolute worst. So you're like, man, I want to ask her out, but she's probably going to diss me, and then Tamina's going to punch me in the stomach. So you kind of like, I don't want to go through that. I'm just going to go over here. And I mean, Sasha Banks is a 5-star match waiting to happen all the time. She has tremendous heart. She's not like most of the divas we've seen. Like she brings something to the table. So hopefully with this triple threat match at WrestleMania, we're gonna see what made NXT put these divas on for main events over other matches. They're gonna show us this is where the Divas Revolution really takes off. You're gonna be at WrestleMania. It's gonna be 3 of the 4 horsewomen in a match. You have no choice but to shine and put Divas Wrestling back on the map. Because I haven't been this excited for a Divas Wrestling match since Lita versus Trish. So hopefully this is going to be a show stealer at WrestleMania.
I'm with it. Bala, same question. Thoughts on the ladies here?
I love the matches. The story isn't as like captivating. You know, it's not the greatest story, but I really every time I see them in a ring, I watch it. They could add more to the story rather just be, oh, we're gonna wrestle, than just like say a little something after. Maybe they could add like another segment or two to it. You know what I mean? Rather just have Ric Flair come out wooing. I mean, I love Flair. They could add a little more to story-wise. The matches are great, but story-wise, lacks a little.
I still think they got plenty of time.
Yeah, I think they have plenty of time, but I also think with the story is something that goes unspoken. Like what's going on here. These are 3 of the 4 divas who started NXT, and they've gone from obscurity to the mountaintop now. So now, being at WrestleMania, the only thing that can make this match better would be adding Paige or Bailey and just letting them go at it to see who is actually the queen of this new Divas Revolution.
I like that conversation there, gentlemen. We get a little bit of a Golden Truth promo. Something about Goldust being lactose intolerant and something else. Silly humor. Man, that pizza was looking good though. Mark Henry had to eat it. So,
Dude, I love Goldust, dude, because I remember there was a time where he hated the Goldust character, dude. Dustin Runnels hated the Goldust character. Hated it so much that he left and went to WCW, and they stuck him in a similar character and called him Seven. So he said, screw it, I'm going to just go back here and be Goldust. But he probably has some of the most entertaining backstage segments as Goldust post his electrocution by Evolution, where he would do like just the most random things. So I don't know how Golden Truth's going to work out. I think this is just something that to buy the time for these guys to give them something to do. But Goldust is pretty entertaining, dude. I love it.
our Truth too. I mean, he holds it down pretty
Oh
well.
man, R-Truth is a fool.
Um, we get to another great match in the show here. For the tag team titles, we get Big E and Kofi Kingston representing the New Day versus AJ Styles and Y2J team. How is it? Y2AJ?
Y2AJ.
There we go. So it was a great match. Bala, I want to know, what did you think of that match overall?
The worst part about it is they made Y2AJ t-shirts, and people actually bought them.
They played you.
And spoiler, I didn't buy it. Because I was kind of upset.
I saw it, but I didn't buy it.
I'm a AJ Styles fan. I'm a huge AJ Styles fan. Love the guy. But I was like, when they paired him up with Y2J, I was just like, I really hope Y2J's first, not Y2J, AJ Styles' first Mania match isn't a tag match. Because I was going to see it's like just another filler match. But when,
Some great WrestleMania tag matches.
but, yeah, Y2J ends up code breaking AJ. And, New Day retains. I feel like that was the best way to go, because then you get AJ versus Y2J at Mania. It was a pretty good match at last pay-per-view. And you give another team, the New Day gets to defend the tag titles, if they're still tag team champions. Probably against, I don't know, I'm guessing it's the League of Nations. Because they keep, like, I don't know if you guys watch YouTube and whatnot. They keep doing those little segment things where they just mock the League of Nations. So I'm guessing they're trying to build up to that, because they do it every week. It's like
I can see that matchup happening. There were a lot of good spots in this match, I felt, though. The spot where AJ did the springboard 450, they had me there. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, they're really going to take the belts off the New Day and give them to him. But then when they pulled the foot out, they got me on a couple spots, so I really enjoyed the match. Ice, what did you think of it overall? Even the heel turn at the end there with Jericho.
I mean, this is Chris Jericho. We already knew what was happening. You know Jericho's the guy. Oh, we got somebody new, Jericho, so you know what time it is. Time to put somebody over. So, you know, the whole heel turn thing, you saw it coming. I mean, AJ Styles has beaten Jericho twice since debuting. He made him tap out. He beat him with the style. Actually, I think he rode him up once and then made him tap out to the calf. I forgot what the calf crusher. WWE. Oh man, the calf crusher.
can't say kill it.
So, I mean, the heel turn was expected. It's a WrestleMania match. I see AJ Styles going over, but you put him against a tried and true veteran with Chris Jericho, and they're having tremendous matches. So it's not like it's AJ Styles versus like the Big Show where AJ Styles' offense is pretty much limited. Like he's in there with a guy like Jericho who can still go in the ring. So I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see where this goes. As far as the tag team match go, I mean, it's New Day was on the screen, so even if AJ Styles wasn't there, they already have my attention because New Day is probably the greatest thing going on WWE today. Um, as far as what's going on with that whole like League of Nations thing versus New Day, it could be a build to a tag team match. I don't know. Or we could see like League of Nations and then New Day with a partner of their choosing in like a 8-man tag at WrestleMania or something like that. So I like to see where it goes. New Day is always quite entertaining. So
Well, we get to the next match, which was a good match, I felt, but it needed just a little bit more time. It was Kalisto defeating Tyler Breeze. You guys know I'm a big Tyler Breeze fan and Kalisto fan. I thought these two worked really well together and did their thing. Bala, what do you think of both these gentlemen right now going into WrestleMania?
At first, I didn't. When I first seen Kalisto, I was like, "Is this just another like generic luchador?" But Kalisto's made me a believer, and they just will not give Tyler Breeze anything. They won't throw the guy a bone, and they don't give him no types of break, man. Ever since when he came up to the main roster, I was hype. I was like, "Oh, it's pretty cool." They're giving this guy a chance. I was never more wrong in my life.
not
Ever,
Aaron Mack.
he's just been the resident jobber, and they might as well bring him back to NXT. Like there, he can actually do something. I mean, it's kind of
So
pointless having him there if you're just gonna have him lose every week.
you have a point. I mean, they always have that option to bring him back down and have him help. I think he falls into that same category as Big Show, one of those guys who he's gonna do what the company tells him to do. Because he's a company guy, he trains the guys, gives them their advice. I'm like, well, if he's fine with losing, then let's just make him lose. That's fine. But Ice, what do you think of both these gentlemen, Kalisto and Tyler Breeze, right now?
Dude, Kalisto. Um, yeah, I've heard about Kalisto before he got to WWE. I've seen a few of his matches. This was nowhere near a generic luchador. The only issue I have with Kalisto is he's either or. He's either 100% on the money, killing it, knows what he's doing, boom, 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 or he's Sin Cara 2.0. He's missing spots. He's messing up. He's moving too quickly to know what he's going to do next. So hopefully he's getting better with it in the ring because I really don't want to see him get hurt. We've seen that enough times when Mystico was Sin Cara, but apparently no one realizes that that's a different Sin Cara now. So maybe it's just me. Tattoo was a dead giveaway, but as far as Tyler Breeze goes, this is a guy who went one-on-one with Jushin Thunder Liger and killed it at a takeover event. And to come up to the main roster and you have nothing for him to do, like that's ridiculous. The whole point of NXT was to take these new guys we're creating and have something for them to do. The only way you're coming up to the main roster is if the only person who's gone from NXT to the main roster that's had any success is Kevin Owens. Adrian Neville has done absolutely nothing. They're calling him the new sensation. The new sensation of what? He's fucking lost everything.
Bottom mid card, though. The
You brought
lower
Tyler
mid card
Breeze up.
sensation.
Tyler Breeze's gimmick would have worked perfectly, especially if you would have stuck him instead of feuding with Ziggler. You put him and Ziggler together. That would have been a perfect tag team. Blew it too late. So I'm really afraid with like Sami Zayn. I know he'll probably get the same treatment as Kevin Owens, but there's rumors that Enzo and Cass are going to come up to the main roster. I don't
I
want to see these
wish.
guys get
I
lost in the
hope.
shuffle like the Ascension. So hopefully things turn around for Tyler because I really think he deserves it. But You never know. We'll have to see.
I don't think the fans will let Enzo and Cass
Oh
get
no,
lost in
they'll
the
no.
shuffle. Man. No
They'll
way
love
in
his
hell,
own
man.
cast. Here's the thing about
Yeah.
WWE fans. WWE fans love two things. They love to be able to say whatever your catchphrases are with you, and they love people who can work the microphone. So we can take a you can take a quick trip. The Rock, whenever he comes out and goes, finally the whole crowd's with him. The Road Dogg, whenever they hear dun 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 dun, oh you didn't know, they love it. New Day comes out. New Day rock. Like, New Day rocks. They're all over it. So they'll love Enzo and Cass. You can see it with the NXT crowds. And they're not just in Full Sail anymore. They're traveling the country now in different arenas. And the whole arena's like, my name is Enzo Amore. Like, so they'll getting over isn't what I'm afraid of. Is being utilized properly is what I'm afraid of.
Absolutely. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to the 3 people who I see who just joined and started watching live with us. What's going on, people? Thank you very much for watching. Our next match is Ryback going against his former tag partner and defeating him, the Axeman, Curtis Axel.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Ryback.
new Ryback gimmick, Bala. What is this? Are they trying to push him?
Goldberg.
I'm not sure what they're
Goldberg.
trying to do. I felt like they've been trying to
Goldberg.
push him for so long, just on and off. Like they give him a push, then it stops. Then they push him a little more, then it stops again. I don't know what they're trying to do. I love the Social Outcasts. They
Goldberg.
can lose as many matches as they want. They still hold a place in my heart. They're entertaining, no doubt about that. But I don't know what they're doing with Ryback, man. I don't think he'll ever be that main event holding the WWE Championship kind of guy. I always see him as like an IC kind of guy, you know.
I think he was wrong era, wrestling in the wrong era. If he was in another era, I think this would be a different story. And I think they even had the chance with Punk. Like I said, they booked themselves in a no-win situation, and then you put Ryback into a you mean nothing situation now. So, same question. What are you thinking about Ryback? You've already said your piece on the Social Outcasts.
Goldberg. I thought it was Goldberg out there for a minute. I was like, oh man, we'll see a jackhammer and a spear, and it's like, oh no, it's just Ryback, or Skip Sheffield, or that guy no one cares about anymore because he's either too busy doing absolutely nothing, calling himself the big guy. Like, here's my issue with Ryback. Ryback is such a carbon copy of like he's like first he was a mix between RVD and Goldberg. Now he's out here in just regular trunks. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, where are we going with this? To me, Ryback will, if he makes it to the mountaintop of championships, he's going to be a transitional champion. He's going to be the guy that gets the belt. So we don't want to make Roman Reigns look really bad. So we'll put the belt on Ryback, and then we'll let Seth Rollins win it off of Ryback instead of Roman Reigns, or something like that. Like, that's pretty much how that's going to work. Because when I hear Ryback's music, I don't get excited. I'm like, oh, it's time for a bathroom break, or I think I'm gonna fall asleep on this part of Raw now because Ryback's on, and him beating up Curtis Axel. It's like, oh, you're really killing him now, Junior. So I don't know. I don't think this whole Ryback thing. I think the pinnacle of his push was back in that, I believe it was a Hell in a Cell match with CM Punk or something like that,
Yeah.
or around that time. That was probably the last time we'll see him, or that'll be the last time for now we'll see him anywhere near the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, poor Ryback got beat up on that segment there. It looks like they're alluding to a match between him and Kalisto. We'll see how that turns out. We did a quick segment with Vince and Stephanie acting worried about Shane, basically alluding to what Balla brought up earlier, the whole what's going to happen at WrestleMania? What are we going to do? What if Shane goes crazy and garbage like that? Didn't sell me on anything. And let's get to the main event, guys. Dean Ambrose defeats Bray Wyatt by disqualification. as we all knew how that was going to go as soon as we heard it, more than likely. Ice, we're going to start with you. Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt. What are you thinking about these two gentlemen? And you can even throw your thoughts in about Triple H right now.
Here's the issue I have with the whole Wyatt family and Ambrose and Wyatt family and wrestling. It's been so overdone that there's no way if I'm sitting in creative, I'm going to utilize the Wyatt family to do the dirty work of other people in the WWE and not have some reward for them. There's no way right now Bray Wyatt should not be the World Heavyweight Champion in the WWE. There's no way that Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan shouldn't be Tag Team Champions. There's no way Luke Harper shouldn't be holding the United States or the Intercontinental Championship. The Wyatt family, together with Bray at the helm, is probably one of the most destructive factions since like the Ministry of Darkness or something. But they just don't get utilized properly. It's the same thing with like Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose right now has all of the underdog sympathy. And the thing with Dean Ambrose is Dean Ambrose reminds me of how WWE utilized Mankind. You had these big stars. You had Stone Cold. You had The Rock. But then here's Mankind. Now, he's a fan favorite. We all love him. We love it when we hear that music cue up and he comes out and he's looking around all crazy and everything. He has this low path to the top. Seth Rollins jumps straight to the top. Roman Reigns straight to the top. But here's Dean Ambrose steadily climbing his way up the side of this mountain. There's a few times where we thought he had it, and they were like, nope, not yet. And he's just slowly. So hopefully, one day we see that it all pays off for Dean Ambrose. Me personally, at Roadblock, I would have Dean Ambrose go over Triple H to create a fatal four-way match at WrestleMania with Roman, Lesnar, Triple H, Dean Ambrose. So this way, you get the underdog sympathy for Ambrose. You get the heel heat for Triple H. People are going to want to see Lesnar suplex everybody. And then Roman Reigns is just there because girls like to look at him, flick his hair back, and I guess kids love the Superman punch, or they'll be changing the name of it soon if DC goes through with that lawsuit. It'll be called the Samoan punch or the leaping jaw strike or something stupid. But right now, Dean Ambrose or Bray Wyatt, to me, should be the king of the mountain right now.
Bala, same question, sir.
Well, the Wyatt family, when they first broke in, I was impressed. I was amazed. I was like, these guys are gonna go far. And then there was a point where WWE just was like, you know what, we're not gonna let you win any big matches. And that was their decline. They were rarely winning matches of importance. They won matches every now and then, but matches that mattered, they booked the Wyatts to lose, and I felt that actually hurt the Wyatts, because when I look at the Wyatts now, I'm like, yeah, they're cool, but are they actually gonna do anything? When I look at them, I'm like, are they booked to lose? It's always like a lose-lose for the Wyatts, man.
What about me, Dean?
You know, I'm a huge fan of Dean. And I like what they're doing with him. I mean, I'd rather see a match Dean versus Owens, mid-card, rather than Dean's versus Hunter. Because I feel those two could put on a much better match than, Rollins versus Triple H. I'd much rather see Dean versus Kevin Owens. I feel they put on, I think it was at, what was it, Fastlane? Wait, no, not at Fastlane, at the Royal Rumble. When, what was it?
Yeah, I think it was the Rumble, the last man standing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that match was like...
That match was That match was
It
great.
was one of the more better matches on the card. You know.
Yeah, both guys definitely
I
know
don't
what
know.
they're doing. Go
Yeah.
ahead, finish your point.
I think they know what they're doing. I think eventually they're gonna give him that. I think eventually they're gonna put the title on him. I think they're just building him up. I mean, the fans are already in love with him, but I think they want to see him at his peak. They want to see because right now they're sticking him like high mid card, or he's just main evented. I think they want to give him a little bit more time, then put the title on him. I think they want Roman's time to kind of. They want to give Roman his moment, and then it'll be Dean's moment.
Maybe I don't know. I can see it going both ways with that. Dean is well, Ice brought up some good points about the Mick Foley kind of comparison. I think Dean's ready to be in that top spot, but they're waiting until WWE's ready to give it to him, or they need that surprise moment. They're like, call Dean up now. It's time. Let's give him the belt. And everyone's going to be wondering, well, why did they wait to do that? But I
WWE's
think I
always
think you
good
could do it
about.
any time. He's ready.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say. Oh, go ahead. I don't want
no,
to cut
I
you
was
off.
going to say, but they're just waiting for that right moment to, like they did with
I'll
Mick
say.
Foley.
I'll say WWE's always good about timing when it's time to put the title on that guy, like especially the underdog character, because you've seen it with Rey Mysterio, you've seen it with uh even like back in the day with like Macho Man, like you've seen it where the character, even though they may be great in all these feats, it was just like, no, let's wait, and then boom, there it is, WrestleMania 4. Macho Man Randy Savage wins the title, holds the title for an entire year. Same, it's just a matter of timing, and if I think soon, and what I would do is I would probably have Dean Ambrose turn on Roman Reigns, have him win Money in the Bank, and you just let the lunatic fringe play with the psyche of the WWE universe until it's time for him to dirty
So
deed
wait,
somebody on that
would
briefcase.
you make Dean heel, or would you keep him running as a face?
Nope, turn him heel. Dean Ambrose is better as a heel anyway.
I like it, boys. One
Yeah.
other thing I did want to point out from that segment that I really, really liked was I liked how the match wasn't very spotty. I enjoyed the characters of the match, like Dean, the lunatic fringe, Bray Wyatt, creepy dude from Red State, Triple H, the corporate champion. Everyone just played their roles correctly, and then the followers of being the rest of the Wyatt family. And I liked how when Triple H basically was like, "Yeah, thanks, Bray. Now beat it. Hit the bricks, kid. You did your job." That Bray said, "Hold on a second here. I'm not your punk." And he rubbed the title a little bit, kind of like he did at the Rumble. Remember, it was a similar interaction. And I think people want to see that match. They want to see the Bray Wyatt versus Triple H. I liked it. So
I mean, it shows that the Wyatt family is like, we didn't do this for you. We did this to make a statement. Like this, we have no affiliation with the authority. We just had a common goal at this point. But don't get it twisted. At the end, everything that matters here is that title you got draped over your shoulder.
and I love that they put that importance on the belt. And overall,
But
that was Raw, folks. And I thought it was a great Monday Night Raw. Um, Gets the pass for me, better than last week's. Last week's was god awful.
I got a question on this. Do
Yes,
you
sir.
think they want to see Bray Wyatt versus Triple H, or they want to see Bray Wyatt going for the title,
Both.
the world title?
I will say both. I will rest at that. I think they want to see Bray in a meaningful match where he can win, and they also would like to see that match lead to a title shot or be about the title in some way, shape, or form eventually.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I have one question here. We're gonna go back and forth one time between us here and see what we get. Simple question: how would you improve wrestling today? Bala, you got it first.
I'd let guys go off script. I think that's the problem. It doesn't seem as natural as it did, like back in, like I'd say, the Attitude Era. Now I think that's why Roman Reigns gets so much like heat for his well, not heat, but like a lot of people don't feel him because of his promos. I think if you let him just go out there and shoot, that it'd be much more natural and sound much better.
I
That's how
definitely,
I'd do it.
I
That's
definitely
the
agree with that
problem.
statement. Ice, what do you think about similar thing here? What do you think? Is there something else different that you would use to improve wrestling today?
To improve wrestling today, I think I would go with a little more unpredictability. I think it's too many times where we'll see something and we'll go, "Yep, know how this is going to end." Just like, for instance, when John Cena was feuding with Bray Wyatt and their match led to WrestleMania, you knew exactly what was going to happen. You were like, "Yep, Bray Wyatt's played all these mind games, done all this work, and WrestleMania, John Cena's gonna stick him in a box and cover it with something so he can't get out. He's gonna duct tape him to a ring post. He's gonna do something ridiculous, and that's what I'm gonna see." But there's been a few times where you've seen a match and you went, "Whoa!" Like, to me, SummerSlam, Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. I did not see Daniel Bryan winning that match. I thought he was going to
Yeah,
put up a good
me neither.
fight. I thought he was going to put the yes lock on, and then Cena was going to power up, AA, 1, 2, 3, and that's the end. Hey, you did good, kid. But no, he actually won. So I think the unpredictability, just like Lesnar and Undertaker at WrestleMania, as much as it pains me to say it, dude, it was everybody thought the same thing was going to happen. Lesnar's going to get some good shots in, a couple suplexes. He's going to eat a tombstone. I'm going to go home happy. The streak will extend. Yay, yay, yay. Nope. He Undertaker ate 3 F5s, and that was the game. And I sat there in shock, sick into my stomach. But it was entertaining because now I wanted to see where this goes. So I think it needs more unpredictability. Definitely needs to not be as scripted, at least with the promos from the superstars. I say give them bullet points like, we need you to talk about being champion. We need you to belittle your opponent, and then you just let the guy that's listening to this promo react. It's more natural from a reactive standpoint than for me to go, "All right, here's your lines. You're going to go out there. You're going to say, I'm the world heavyweight champion because no one else can beat me," and blah, blah, blah. And then he's going to come out and he's going to say, "Well, I'm going to be the guy that beats you because I want this more," and blah, blah, blah. But if you let it flow naturally, you can get that chemistry going to where they can feed off of each other. We've seen it with Jericho and The Rock. We've seen it with Stone Cold and The Rock, Triple H and The Rock. Like, you can see it with all these different guys. So that's what I would use to improve what's going on.
Absolutely. Some other things I put in for me even was maybe in ring. Maybe they should do a little bit more shooting, kind of, just to make it seem a little bit more realistic. Just so you're not always getting the kick and flip and the awkward. Like I see a lot of awkward transitions sometimes between the old and new guys. You'll see it like where they're gonna grab Mark Henry, go around him, and then try and pull him and stuff. And he's probably like, "What are you doing? This is wasted motion. What are you doing? Stop!" Or perfect example was Billy Gunn in TNA. Billy Gunn is a very agile old dude, I will say, at his age to be wrestling. And Billy Gunn seemed awkward in the six-sided ring. Like he couldn't run as fast as he really was because the ring was so awkward. And he just couldn't do what he wanted to do. So maybe a little bit more shoot stuff. And, gentlemen, we're going to move on to the next segment here. WWE Roadblock predictions and thoughts. Now, I know you guys alluded to some of them before, but let's give some predictions here. We can pull out the almighty pen, and let's get it in here. So, first match I have written down is for the NXT Tag Team titles. The Revival, I didn't even know they had a name, Dash and Dawson, versus Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore. What do you guys think is happening here for the NXT Tag Belts? I know what the fans want to have happen, but what do you think is going to happen, Bala?
First of all, whenever I hear Enzo say Dash and Dawson, not Enzo, Cass, when he's like Dash and Dawson, I just die for like 5 minutes. But I honestly think Dash and Dawson are going to walk out with the titles. I think NXT wise, they're ready to go up to the main roster, and I feel they're going to start doing that. They might lose their last match before they actually make it to the main roster. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it sooner than later. So I got Dash and Dawson.
Ice, who you taking to go over here?
Come on now, you know I gotta go with my boys, Enzo and Big Cass. They're probably the longest. They are, in fact, the longest active tag team in NXT history right now. Put the belts on them, even if at Takeover Dallas they gotta defend them against Gable and Jordan. You gotta put the tag team titles on these guys at least once, dude, just to take them off of Dash and Dawson. Um, I mean, this is a rivalry that's been played through for a number of weeks now, months even. They took out Cass, they took out Enzo. Like, this is the redemption right here at Roadblock. Cass, Enzo winning the tag team titles. Now, unfortunately, as someone who's a fan of Enzo and Cass, I know how they lose all their tag team title matches. It's all the same way. Cass hits the East River crossing, tags in Enzo. Enzo drags his limp body to the top rope. They go for the air Enzo. They hit it. The other guy pulls Enzo out the ring, drops him with the clothesline. Cass goes out. They send Enzo back in. Cass gets sent into the stairs. Enzo eats the tag team finisher. 1, 2, 3. And that's how the match ends. So hopefully we don't see this same formula followed at Roadblock, and we see the new NXT champions, Enzo Amore and Big Cass.
I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna rock with Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore. I think it's time just to switch things up a little bit and you throw them against American Alpha if that's where they're going for NXT Takeover Dallas. It says we're getting Roman Reigns versus Sheamus here, boys, and I'm going with Roman for the clean victory.
Oh,
Paula, who do you got?
oh
I
God.
think it's obviously Roman. They're not going to have Roman lose to Sheamus. Probably by DQ, probably by off spear or whatnot. But they're not going to book Roman to lose. I'm guessing this is like a special, I don't know what you want to call it, a show or whatever. They're not going to book him to lose right before Mania, right before he walks into Mania. They want him to look good. That's why I'm predicting Hunter wins as well. They want them to build momentum going into Mania. So I'm going with Roman.
Ice, who you taking in this match?
Unfortunately, Roman Reigns. First, here's the issue with WWE. I don't know why they haven't learned anything. Roman Reigns can only have good matches against guys who can carry a match. You can't have a good match against a guy who needs to be carried. Who's going to carry the carriers is what I want to know. Like, come on, guys. We got to do better than that. So I guess Roman gets this W this time only because if he doesn't get it, I'm blaming interference by the League of Nations and or Triple H.
I don't know. I think Roman has good matches with other people. Like him and Big Show have this crazy weird like dynamic that works. So I'm going with Roman. That's it. I think that these guys should be able to pull something together that's really good. We also have Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt. I'm taking Lesnar in a DQ dub. Balla, who you taking?
We're going to see a bunch of suplexes. I can't wait.
I'm going to have to go with you on that one because probably outside interference as well with the Wyatt family. I'm guessing they're trying to take that to Mania because Brock isn't missing. I don't think he's booked for Mania yet.
Brock is fighting Dean.
Brock?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yep.
Oh, shit. Well, I think the Wyatts are going to try to jump him, man. I'm going outside, outside interference, DQ. And,
who you taking for Roadblock?
It's a tough one, man, because Lesnar normally doesn't lose. So if he does, I think he's going to win, but I don't think he's going to get the pinfall. I think it's going to be a disqualification as well. If he does lose, it'll be due to the numbers game. But I mean, I don't think they've etched Dean and Brock in stone. But it is very much hinted that it will be those two, possibly in a street fight. But is is the Wyatt family versus Lesnar bigger on the money end? Because to me, Bray Wyatt has more of a chance to really go at Brock Lesnar than say like Dean Ambrose. Like Dean Ambrose is the lunatic fringe and he got this crazy offensive style. But when you really put it up against Brock Lesnar, it's gonna be like a street fight's the only way I see Ambrose beating Lesnar at WrestleMania. But we'll see.
That you got a lot of dynamics here. I feel like this is what WrestleMania could have been, is how they look at it. Like, it could have been Dean in the main event. It could have been Brock versus the Wyatt family, Roman versus Sheamus again. But they just went with it. And we got the WWE title match. Triple H, the champion, versus Dean Ambrose. Ice, who you taking?
Dean Ambrose.
Wait a second. By DQ, count out?
Dean Ambrose for the dub.
All right,
For
mark
the
that
pin.
down, folks. 8:52 Eastern Time. This makes Dean Ambrose win the belt. If it happens,
Dean Ambrose
That's fine, both of you guys.
here's what I would do. Dean Ambrose wins the title. Now that sets up Triple H versus Dean. Oh wait, Roman Reigns has earned the right to face the champion at WrestleMania. So now you got a triple threat match. Oh wait, Brock Lesnar's got unfinished business with Dean Ambrose. Now you got a fatal four-way at WrestleMania 23. I mean 23 at WrestleMania 32, and this could be a blockbuster main event. We haven't had a fatal four-way in WrestleMania since WrestleMania 2000.
16 years in the making.
So I would say do it that way, and then even then and I think if I was to do it that way, I would have Dean Ambrose turn on Roman Reigns and become the new corporate champion for the Authority while Seth Rollins is out.
Bala, who you taking here? Triple H or Dean?
That Fatal 4-Way sounds nice. I mean, I'd love it, but WWE doesn't think like that. So I'm going with they make it's going to be a back and forth match, but they make Hunter win by pinfall.
I'm with Bala, 100%. That's Roadblock, guys, in a nutshell. So hopefully you guys get to check it out on Saturday on the WWE Network. And if you're a new member, it's free, so make sure you subscribe to that. Check it out.
I'm not. They're paying you animals.
Not at all, man. I just provide the facts, sir. Just the good facts. Next.
Only $9.99.
Chilling.
You guys, I have WrestleMania thoughts, and one that I'm interested in hearing Ice's opinion on. I don't know what they're going to do with Bray for WrestleMania. I guess I'm going to change it into that. What do you do with Bray right now? He's got to have a match, right?
You
But
got
what
to put him in the match, dude. Bray Wyatt is money, regardless of how they irregularly book him to win huge matches. Excuse me. So, who does Bray Wyatt have an issue with that's having a match at WrestleMania? You got Roman Reigns, you got Dean Ambrose, but none of those guys. Undertaker. Bray Wyatt wants to be the new face of fear, but the old face of fear is still here, and that's still his yard. Oh, wait. Undertaker's fighting Shane McMahon. Oh, you really think Shane McMahon's going to beat The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match? Nah. But Shane McMahon, with the help of the Wyatt family, can beat Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match to take over control of Monday Night Raw.
I think he just needs the Mean Street Posse, man. I'm not with that.
Oh my
I think
God!
Rodney
Nobody wants to
Gas.
see Pete Gas and Rodney and the rest of the gang.
I'd be hyped.
Doom, doo, doo, doom, doo, doo, doom, doo, doo, doom, doo, 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 doo. Nobody want to see them sweater vests hopping over the barricade.
Oh,
Here's
man.
the thing: you gotta have somebody who can legitimately put Taker down. So you send out Bray Wyatt and you send out Luke Harper. Boom. They take Undertaker out. He kind of fends him off for a little bit. Shane gets the easy gets a cheap roll up or whatever. Or do you blemish the Undertaker's WrestleMania record more by adding a second loss to Shane McMahon?
It's already been, it's already over. It's like it
It's
doesn't have the same.
over. It doesn't have the same feel, but it's ah, like if he would have had to fight Sting at WrestleMania, I'd have felt better about it. If he would have had to fight Sheamus at WrestleMania, I'd have felt better about it. But it's like it's the Undertaker. And even though Undertaker lost that match to Lesnar, it's like, okay, you lost to Lesnar, but are you gonna put Shane McMahon in the same category of people who've beaten the Undertaker? Randy Orton couldn't do it, but Shane McMahon could. Mark Henry couldn't do it, but Shane McMahon could.
Well, wait a second. Let's put it like this. Here's what I'm hearing from everybody. Everybody loves the Undertaker. Me too. You want Undertaker on one hand to win because it's his record. He's Mr. Basically, he is the real Mr. WrestleMania. He always comes out. You know what you're gonna get when it's Taker. But on the other hand, though, you got if Shane McMahon wins, he says he will make Raw different, and we want that so bad. So you're
It's
like,
like,
dang.
sorry, you want Undertaker? You're like, Taker, I love you, but I'm gonna need you to lay down for me.
I'd give Shane the win, man.
I
We need it more than Undertaker needs his WrestleMania wins.
We can speculate all day, but gentlemen, here's what I really wanted to ask. Here's what I really wanted to ask you guys. WrestleMania 33 was announced. It is going to be in Orlando, Florida. Yeah, I know you're happy. Yeah. He gets a
For
WrestleMania.
like the third, maybe more time. How many times has it been at Florida?
This is the first time since 24. It's in the Citrus Bowl again.
This is the first. This is twice for Orlando, but it's been in Florida 3 times, I think. 2 in Orlando, one in Miami.
Ballin', man, you can't turn down the nice weather if you're Vinnie Mac and them. And it's where all the wrestlers live. And no state tax, man.
And
They could always come
this
back
is
to
a
New York.
dude.
just
This
biased.
is a. Here's the thing. Orlando has the -1 tourist destination in the world, Walt Disney World. So you're gonna tell me? You imagine if you got like a 12-year-old kid, you go, hey son, we're going to Disney World and we're going to WrestleMania. I'd flip shit if I was a kid.
If you
What?
told me that now, I'd be hyped.
Exactly. I know some people who are going to be. I guarantee you. I work for Disney. I guarantee you, WrestleMania weekend, I'm going to see 1,000 people at that park on a daily basis who are like, oh yeah, we're here for WrestleMania, but we wanted to come to Disney too.
Yeah.
If I
So-
go, I'm absolutely doing that.
Yeah, I'm going
I'm
as
like,
well.
I'm already about to get my bank account together to save up. I'm gonna put $50 away every week. Shazam! I'm gonna order. I'm getting my hotel. I need to find out what hotel the wrestlers are staying at, so I can book me a room ahead of time, and then be like, well, Randy Orton, this is supposed to be his room. No. I'm sorry. I booked this 17 months ago. Sorry, kid.
RKO out of nowhere.
RKO in the lobby. Bam! I think I'll take a room on the next floor.
Guys, real quick though, not only the Orlando thing. I did a project a long time ago about a Hall of Fame for Disney and stuff, and my idea was to do one for WWE originally. With this Hall of Fame, I think it is time for them to actually, now there's a rumor of them getting a physical building for this. I think it's time to make the Hall of Fame more legitimate. You get the building, then you got to start having the voting for it. You need to make this thing more legitimate. Are you guys for that, against that? What do you think?
Oh, definitely. That would be awesome. You imagine that? A place I can go and see, like, the actual people who've been inducted. You got your celebrity wing, you got your regular. It's just like it's like the football. It's like you make it like a museum. Even if you have, whether you have the brass figures, whether you have the wax, whatever you do, but you can have stuff there. You can have their tights and stuff on display, or what titles they've had. Like, dude, there's a number of things. You could turn you could do a WWE Hall of Fame and make it almost like a kind of like a small like WrestleMania access kind of deal where
But
you
then
can
there
go
goes the
in.
whole thing for that access. That
Well, no. Well, you don't get rid of access, but you can go in and say there's a special section where you can do your own voiceover commentary for a classic match, or you can see what like they have it on display at access anyway. You can see how big Andre the Giant's hand is versus yours. So there's a number of things you can do to make that come together. You can have your like, oh, this year we every year you have the ballot where fans and superstars and all that can come in and vote, because I think it'd be more legitimate for the fans to actually vote on who goes into the Hall of Fame versus them going, okay, this year who can we get for the Hall of Fame? But if as a fan I feel like, hey, this guy's in the Hall of Fame because I voted for him to go into the Hall of Fame, it would mean a little bit more, which would still bring people into
you know,
that venue.
everybody's gonna vote on someone WWE who's in bad terms with them.
Well, then that's WWE's fault for putting that person on the ballot.
Chris
I
Benoit.
I think. Whoa.
Yeah,
I
he
think
ain't
we he who we shall not speak of.
gonna.
I think they go by a weighted scale. You let the fans have their interaction for a vote, maybe for a celebrity or whatever it may be, and you have the wrestlers actually vote for who goes in. The wrestlers know who comes in, who's respectful, who deserves it. Like, hey man, we forgot about Demolition. Hey man, where's Ravish and Rick Rude? Like Boss Man's long overdue, and I was happy to see him get in this year. So Boss Man definitely deserves it. Just something to think about. Hopefully we can have Ice on several more times in between then, and he can keep us posted on what's going on with that. Maybe even pick us up some Disney tickets on discount. I'm just playing. But gentlemen, last thing real quick that we're going to get into before we call it a night. This is match number 2 in my top 5 greatest WrestleMania matches. Folks, remember this isn't in any order, so don't start screaming at me in the comment section below. This is my personal top 5 matches. And tonight's match comes from WrestleMania 21. The matchup put 2 of the greatest in the ring against each other. Kurt Angle versus the Heartbreak Kid, not so much at that time, Shawn Michaels. What an awesome match. Balla, what do you have memories of from that match real quick?
I feel that that's one of the best matches of all time that doesn't get talked about at all. No one ever talks about that match. That match has some great spots, some memorable moments, and I don't know when WWE likes to like show you like greatest WrestleMania moments, they don't really show you Kurt versus Shawn. Maybe it's because Kurt going to TNA. I don't know, but it's one of the less talked about greatest matches in WWE history.
Yeah, Ice, what do you think of that match?
Dude, you're talking about the only Olympic gold medalist in the ring with none other than proverbially one of the greatest performers that ever stepped foot between those ropes, and Shawn Michaels. Dude, that was probably one of the best matches, probably one of the best story told rivalries in that time period with Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels. In fact, what a lot of people don't know is that marks the first time in Shawn Michaels' career that he tapped out in a match. Up until that point, Shawn Michaels had never been tapped out. He'd been knocked out, he'd been hit with finishers and all that, but he never tapped out until that match with Kurt Angle. Um, it was definitely a match that, like Balla said, is rarely talked about when you talk about great WrestleMania matches. That one will probably make it into my top 10 favorite WrestleMania matches. Um, but if you want to see like athleticism, great storytelling, 2 guys that can just go in the ring, that's the match you want to see.
Absolutely. With that match, I thought that there was some great storytelling before and after. Like the lead up from the Royal Rumble of Shawn Michaels eliminating Kurt Angle into Michaels teaming with Marty Jannetty. If most people don't know, they brought the Rockers back for one night, to having Kurt Angle bring out Sherry Martel and having her redo the song with Kurt. Oh, he's just a sexy Kurt, and he puts her in the ankle lock. Just good stuff right there, man. Top rope angle slam in the match. I never thought that would be possible. I remember they would do it in other Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon. That you had to use the piece of plywood for them to do it. But Kurt ran up and caught Shawn like that. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. Both men get a little bit bloody in the match, little cuts on the mouths, just amazing. And I was shocked at the time to see Shawn tap. Like, you didn't know who was going to win. People were kicking out of sweet chin musics, angle slams. But that second or third time he locked that ankle lock on, and once you saw that grapevine, you knew. You knew it was a wrap.
I was like HBK's tapping. Oh man. Too bad Undertaker never tapped out.
We won't bring up No Way Out. But
Don't let's talk about.
folks, that is episode 9 for Everything Pro Wrestling. I'd like to thank my guests, Bala and Ice. If you guys have any shout-outs you want to give, please give them right now.
You go first.
I'm gonna say, just go ahead, follow me on Twitter, at Sheehan Psycho Ice. Catch me on PlayStation, Psycho Ice 87.
Yeah. You can catch me on Snapchat, the Nelson Bala 33, IG, the Nelson Bala, and PlayStation as well, Bala Lovin 89. Cooking some day to be. Any 2K, really. But yeah, thanks for having me, Animals.
Oh, no doubt. And the reason everyone calls me Animals, that's my PSN ID, Animals07, if you want that work in any 2K games, basketball or wrestling. And folks, follow me on Twitter at ConradKushman. I have to thank everyone who's watching live, everyone who watches every week. Smack that like button for me. Make sure that you guys are leaving comments. Leave your thoughts on the show, feedback on what we're talking about. What are your greatest WrestleMania matches? What are you liking about Raw, the build-up to Mania? Leave it all for us. And please, if you haven't, join the Facebook group page. We got a great group of guys in there just talking wrestling every day, just throughout the day, just something to get you through if you're at work or at school. So check it out. And I have to thank all of you guys once again for coming on the shows, helping me out. So, folks, we are out.